Complete domination. The kind where the final score doesn't even fully capture how one-sided the evening actually felt. The kind where the losing team's dugout goes quiet not in the fourth inning, not in the sixth, but somewhere around the second, when the realization settles in that tonight is simply not going to be their night no matter what adjustments they make or what arms they bring out of the bullpen. That is what the Los Angeles Dodgers delivered against the Houston Astros. 8-3. And it wasn't that close. At the center of it all, as he has been all season long, as he seems to be every single time the Dodgers need someone to make the moment feel smaller than it actually is, was Shohei Ohtani. Locked in. Focused. Delivering the kind of massive hit that doesn't just change the score of a baseball game but shifts the entire emotional weight of an evening from one dugout to the other in a single swing. But to understand why that hit was so inevitable, you have to understand what was building long before Ohtani stepped into the batter's box in that critical moment. The Astros came into this game with a reputation. Houston is not a team that walks into any ballpark without a detailed, sophisticated game plan. Their analytics department is among the most respected in the sport. Their pitching staff understands sequencing, targeting, and the strategic use of movement and velocity changes at a level that has made them one of the most difficult teams in baseball to put runs up against for the better part of a decade. They had a plan for Ohtani. Of course they did. Every team that faces the Dodgers has a plan for Ohtani, because not having one is the kind of professional negligence that gets pitching coaches fired. The plan, based on what unfolded through the early innings, was built around keeping the ball down and away, varying speeds aggressively, and avoiding the middle of the zone at all costs. Standard approach against an elite hitter. Logical. Disciplined. Well executed in theory. The problem with having a plan for Ohtani is the same problem every team runs into eventually. He has already seen your plan. He has already studied it, processed it, and prepared a counter to it before you ever decided it was your plan. The preparation that Ohtani puts into every opposing pitcher he faces is so thorough, so detailed, and so consistently applied that by the time he steps into the batter's box, he is not reacting to what the pitcher is doing, he is confirming what he already expected. Houston's plan was good. Against almost any other hitter in baseball, it would have worked. Against Ohtani, it lasted exactly as long as it took him to see enough pitches to confirm his preparation was correct. What made the massive hit so devastating was everything that came before it. The Dodgers had been applying pressure on the Astros pitching staff from the first inning, not always converting that pressure into runs, but making Houston's pitchers work. Deep counts. Hard contact to the warning track. Line drives that found gloves by feet rather than yards. This is a deliberate part of how the Dodgers construct their offensive approach. They understand that baseball games are not won in single moments, they are won through the accumulated fatigue and mental erosion that deep at-bats and consistent hard contact produce in a pitching staff over the course of 9 innings. By the time the pivotal inning arrived, Houston's starter had already thrown significantly more pitches than he would have preferred at that stage of the game. His stuff had not abandoned him, but the crispness of his command, the precision of his location, had subtly degraded in the way that always happens when a pitcher is working harder than he planned to work. That degradation is invisible on the surface. The velocity readings look similar. The pitch shapes look comparable. But pitchers know it, catchers know it, and elite hitters, the ones who process information at the speed Ohtani does, absolutely know it. Ohtani knew it. When Ohtani came to the plate in that pivotal inning, the game situation had created exactly the kind of high-leverage moment that separates the truly great from the merely excellent. Runners on base. Score within reach. The Astros needing an out badly. The Dodgers needing a hit even more badly. 50,000 people in that stadium understanding, simultaneously, that what happened in the next 30 seconds would likely determine the outcome of the entire evening. And Ohtani, calm, still, reading the pitcher with those eyes that veteran catchers have described as the most unsettling they have ever pitched against, was already ready. The pitch came in. A fastball, elevated slightly, the kind of location that a pitcher throws when he is trying to get a swing and miss above the zone but executes just well enough that the ball catches the upper portion of the hitting zone instead of sailing above it. Against most hitters, that pitch is a difficult decision: swing and risk being fooled, or take and hope for a better offering. Against Ohtani, that pitch is simply an opportunity. The swing was everything that makes Ohtani's hitting mechanics so extraordinary to watch in real time. The load was perfectly timed. The hip rotation generated the kind of bat speed that turns pitching mistakes into absolute disasters. The contact was so clean, so centered, so completely on the barrel that the sound alone told everyone in that stadium what was about to happen before they could even track the ball off the bat. It was massive. It was definitive. And it broke the Astros back in a single swing. The celebration in the Dodgers dugout was not the frantic, surprised eruption of a team that didn't see it coming. It was the deep, satisfied release of a team that had been building toward exactly this moment for several innings and had just watched their best player deliver it on schedule. Let's be honest about what an 8-3 final score against the Houston Astros represents. The Astros are not a soft opponent. They are not a team that pads opposing statistics and inflates winning streaks against weak competition. They are a franchise with genuine organizational strength, real pitching depth, and a lineup that has consistently punished any opposing pitcher who comes into a game without complete conviction and execution. To beat them by 5 runs, to beat them in the comprehensive, wire-to-wire way that the Dodgers beat them on this night, requires a performance that is operating at a level above what most teams in baseball are currently capable of producing. The Dodgers produced it without appearing to strain for it. That is the detail that should make every team in the National League deeply uncomfortable. Because there is a significant difference between a team that wins big by pushing to its absolute limit and a team that wins big while appearing to operate within itself. The first team has something to sustain. The second team has a ceiling that you cannot yet see. The Dodgers, on this night, looked very much like the second team. It would be easy, and lazy, to simply celebrate the Dodgers' performance without spending a moment understanding what this loss looked like from Houston's side. The Astros came in with genuine confidence. They had every reason to believe they could compete in this matchup. Their starting pitcher had been one of their most reliable performers. Their lineup had been producing runs consistently. Their bullpen had been managing high-leverage situations with composure. None of it was enough. Not on this night, against this team, against this player. What makes losses like this particularly difficult for a franchise of Houston's caliber to process is the absence of a clear correctable error. They didn't lose because of a strategic blunder. They didn't lose because of defensive miscues or base-running mistakes. They lost because the team they were playing performed at a level that exceeded what their preparation could contain. That is the hardest kind of loss to learn from. And it is the kind of loss that the Dodgers, specifically because of what Ohtani brings to every game, are increasingly capable of inflicting on opponents who are doing everything right. Here is the question that this 8-3 demolition puts directly in front of every baseball analyst, every opposing front office, and every fan paying attention to what is happening in Los Angeles right now. Is there a ceiling? Because the Dodgers are not winning games like this by accident. They are not winning them through luck or schedule or the temporary absence of injured opponents. They are winning them because they have constructed a roster, built a culture, and developed an offensive identity around a player who makes every single game feel tilted in their favor before the first pitch is thrown. Ohtani's massive hit was the moment everyone will remember from this game. It will be the clip, the highlight, the image that defines the evening in the public memory. But the 8-3 final score, the complete, dominant, thoroughly earned nature of this victory against a quality opponent, is the evidence that something larger than any single hit is happening in Los Angeles right now. A standard is being set. Game by game. Hit by hit. Win by win. And right now, nobody in baseball has a convincing answer for it.